This episode is brought to you by Butter Skin, a Black-founded, Black-led skincare brand created specifically for our melanin-rich community. Now, y'all already know this show is about feeling good on the inside, but let's not forget about the outside. Your glow, it deserves love too. Butter makes it easy. I use their cleanser, their 15% vitamin C serum to keep my skin even and dark spot free. Oh, and that moisturizer, baby, butter. My skin feels hydrated, healthy, and like I'm showing up for myself morning and night. Because real wellness, it's not just meditation and journaling. It's those small rituals that remind you matter. And when I say my skin is loving me back, just click the link in the video description box to shop my favorite butter products. You'll get a special discount too. Consider it your reward for showing up for yourself today. All right, now, let's get into today's conversation. Calling all my sweeties to the forefront, I'm your host, Renee Hayslett, and this is the Keep It Positive Sweetie Show. Our next guest has made an impact on how we show up and celebrate ourselves. He's an activist, a mentor, media expert, and he is the creator of the Black Excellence Brunch, a global celebration of the culture created to build community amongst Black people from all backgrounds, professions, and walks of life. Sweeties, please welcome Trell Thomas. Trell.
What's up?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here.
Man, I'm happy to have you here. Seriously. You've been everywhere. It's been a crazy week.
Man,
You're fresh off of a flight. You look good.
thank you.
I'm
So
loving
do
the
you.
fit. Thank you. So I wanted to have you on because you have so many amazing things going on. And a lot of people know you from your Black Excellence Brunches. Now, your Black Excellence Brunches started in 2017 when you just had friends over for dinner and said, hey, we're all white. What was it about that moment? Take us back to your dinner party 2017 that sparked something in you to say, hey, I need to do this more often.
Well, I have to be completely honest. So 2017 is when it started to look like people see it now. But Black Excellence Brunch is really based off the concept and tradition that I know that we're all familiar with of Sunday dinner.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar, all of the sweeties out there, right? Like it is when you go to church, and then after church, you sit down with your family around 1 or 2 o'clock. I grew up Southern Baptist, so sometimes it was 3 or 4 for
Right.
me. But you really shared this meal
Yes.
with your family and friends and loved ones. And my mom would host them at our home growing up every Sunday. And it was honestly one of the first places, Crystal, where I got to feel and see the joy of being a Black person.
Same.
And so I wanted to recreate that feeling for my friends. So yeah, I started doing it in my home. And then in 2017, that one that you're speaking about, I got all my friends together. It was my going away. I'll never forget. I was moving from New York City to LA.
Wow.
And I just brought everybody together, and I was like, well, I can kind of tell them what to do a little bit more today. So I was like, can you guys wear all white? Can you meet me here? And everybody came, everybody wore all white. And when I tell you, it was something so special about it, because we couldn't get 2 feet without people being like, who are you guys? What do you do? Can I take a picture with you? People were sending us drinks. We were at the rooftop of this restaurant. And I just looked around the table. I remember the exact moment looking around the table, and I just saw everybody smiling and looking so confident and just feeling joy. And I just thought to myself, if I could give us this feeling all the time, I want to do that. I want us to, because this is how we should be able to walk through life joyously, right? And and it was in that moment I remember doing a toast, and I was like, this is to all of my Black and excellent friends. This is a Black Excellence Brunch. And then something clicked.
Wow.
And it was in that moment I was like, I got to do more of this. And I got to gather us more. But most importantly, I got to put a smile on our faces,
and you
like
do
I've
that.
seen.
Oh my God,
Oh,
you
thank
do.
you.
Yeah, no, just like you, I grew up in the South. Sundays were definitely our day where the family got together. Everybody, cousins, aunts, we all came to one home. And like you said, we just came together and we were already looking good because we were in our Sunday's
Right,
best.
exactly.
Yeah. And then we had an amazing dinner and just fellowship. And that's
Yeah.
beautiful that's what sparked that. So you just toasted and then you said Black Excellence Brunch. And that's when you're like, wait, that's it.
It just clicked. It just clicked, and
Wow.
I was like, okay, I got to do more of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of rinse and repeat after that. I moved to LA.
Yeah.
When I came to LA, I did another one. same
Wow.
reaction. And like
Wow.
in LA and in New York, it's hard to impress people
It sure is.
because everybody's impressive, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I just saw how people were receiving us. But most importantly, Crystal,
Mhm.
I realized one that it was bigger than me.
Mm,
My a mentor told me, like, if you're doing anything and it starts and stops at you, then it's not big enough. And
absolutely.
so in those moments, I realized, oh, this is bigger than me.
Mhm.
But I also realized that it was something so divine about the
Yeah.
space. It just like I tell people even now, you can see all the videos and the pictures, but
Mhm.
until you've been in the space,
Baby.
you don't really know.
Mhm.
But the energy of it is so beautiful. And I think you probably can attest to this. There's a point in your life where something you're doing something and you're like, this is not just a thing that I'm doing. This is a part of my purpose.
Yes.
And this is my responsibility.
Mhm.
And I started to feel responsible.
Mm.
Responsible for bringing joy to us, responsible for shifting the narrative, responsible for creating safe spaces. And so it was like, all right, this isn't just a thing that I'm doing. Like,
Mhm.
this is what I've been called to do.
Yes.
And when you hear your calling, you got to like walk in it, you
Right.
know?
So back then, when you first started, how many people were attending these brunches? Because I've seen what it is now.
Yeah. So I would say at the very beginning, it was like 40, 50 people.
Mhm.
Yeah, like between 40 and 50 people.
Wow.
And yeah, now we've done as many as 3,000 people,
That's
which I'm still like pinching myself about.
yeah. Did you like this has been something that's been culturally impactful. Did you ever dream that like when you started in 2017 that it would be this big and that you'd be at the White House, you would be at every film festival? Like did you dream that it would ever be this big?
No. And I didn't know. I
Mhm.
just wanted to do.
Mhm.
And even now, there are
Mhm.
times where people would be like, "Do you realize?" Like, even when you mentioned that just now, I'm like, "Wait a minute, I guess that's true." Like,
Yes.
because I'm just doing and I'm just going. I
Mhm.
remember having this moment, and I'll share with you. I was, this was maybe 2022,
Mhm.
and I've been doing the brunches for a while. I figured I was no longer having to spend my own money to
Come
do
on.
it. So, but I walked. We had one at SoFi Stadium.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and I and
It was brand new.
it, m- we had one at SoFi Stadium. I walked in and I see Black Excellence Brunch on the jumbotron, and I'm like, and even though we had done like all these partnerships and we had traveled, by
Mhm.
then we had done Africa and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I
Yeah.
guess this is something that I'm doing because when you are on the path and and I'm at this point, I'm helping people set up. Like I've never been the type of be like, okay, go do it.
Mhm.
You know, I'm on in and on the ground with people.
Mhm.
And so I didn't realize it and got that big until I looked up. Somebody was like, Trell, like, look. And I looked and it was on the Jumbotron. So I feel like that's what keeps me like going, just not even paying attention
Mhm.
to like these marquee moments, but it's also um important, I guess, to stop and be like, wait a minute, like this is happening. So even
Yeah.
thank you for that reminder.
No, it is. I always remind my friends, especially when things are just going so fast and everything's on a high, take those moments to really soak it in because it goes by just like that.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're just on to the next, on to
On
the
to the next.
next.
Yep.
And then you don't take a chance to look back and say, whoa, I've accomplished all these amazing things. So take time to sit in gratitude. I love that you're finding time to do that. Now, you mentioned it got to a point where you weren't coming out of your own pocket to
Yeah.
make these things happen. So in the beginning, you were footing the bill for most of these
Oh
things.
yeah. And I tell people all the time, like one of the biggest questions that I get is like, how do you get all these brand partnerships? At this
Yes.
point, we've partnered with over 100 brands. And
How?
people
That
are
is
like,
I do
how
want
do
I
you
want to
get all
know too.
these brand partnerships? And I tell people it's simpler than a lot of people realize.
Mhm.
First of all, and if you're going to ask anybody to invest in you, like, are you investing in yourself?
That's a
Like, I
word.
feel like you can't ask anybody for anything that you're not willing to give yourself.
Mhm.
And that's in business, that's in relationships, that's in friendships. Like, I can't ask you to be honest if I'm not being honest.
Right.
So before I go to a brand and be like, hey, can you give me $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 to do
Mhm.
something, like I need to know like what it what it feels like to put
Ooh.
that. to invest that into
Mm-hmm.
something. So when I did the first Black Excellence Brunch, when I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it nice, and I'm gonna,
Yeah.
put some decor on it. I literally paid for that with my own money, and it gave me such an appreciation
Mm-hmm.
for like the space, and it also let me know like, Trell, you don't gotta depend on anybody to do anything,
That's good.
because you we're never waiting on it, it's always waiting on us. So I think that was waiting on me. It was waiting on me to make the decision that, you know what, you can do it. It
Mhm.
was waiting on me to invest in myself. It was waiting on me to like move forward and answer the calling that I was just talking to you
Yes.
about. So I feel like that's the important first step. Like,
Mm-hmm.
know what it takes to invest
Yes.
into your thing, into your dream, and be willing to make that investment. And the next thing you know, the very next brunch after I made that investment, I got $50,000 from Netflix to do the next one.
Wow. That's
And I
wow.
firmly believe it is because I was, I had got out of the mode of like, oh, I'm waiting on somebody else to save me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna do it regardless. You pull up to the table, that's nice,
Uh-huh.
but it's still gonna be here.
You listen, you are speaking to me right now. You really are. Because there's things that I still want to do, and you just hit the nail on the head. It's waiting for me
hmm
to step up to it and do it. I love that. Oh my goodness. So when did you get so did you even ask Netflix, or Netflix approached you for that?
You know, and I know we are people of faith, so you'll get this too.
Yes.
So, okay, I also believe that you have to pray about it
Mhm.
and then leave it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because when we pray and then we worry, it's like me
Mm.
giving you something and then be like, oh, can I have that back? So
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna give God the thing and then be like, oh, let me borrow it so I can worry about it for a little while longer. You
Right.
know what I mean? So it's like, here you go, like this is the thing, and then I gotta move on from it.
Mhm.
And I think when I had invested in myself on that
Yeah.
first one, I was like, all right, God, like I did this, I'm out of money, you
Mhm.
know, here you go. I wanted to be nice. And then I left it alone, and I lied to you not, 3 days later, I went to dinner with a friend of mine, Angelique, and then Jasmine. A shout out to y'all if y'all out there watching this. Thank you so much. So Jasmine Lawson was at the dinner, and she
Mhm.
was working at Netflix at the time. And I was just telling her about like, these gatherings that I do. I was just telling her, I didn't even know like what her position was. We were
Mhm.
just out to dinner as friends, and I
Mm.
was telling her about it, and little did I know, she was taking mental notes and went to her direct supervisor at Netflix and told them with just as much excitement as I had. They agreed to take a call with me, and that was it. So that's how it happened. So I think that putting it in motion,
Mhm.
praying about it, and leaving it,
Yeah.
like allow God to be God.
Yeah.
And the things started to be orchestrated. It's
Mhm.
because I wasn't it wasn't like a dinner that we had planned for weeks. We popped up and did that. And
Right.
Jasmine wasn't even supposed to come. She showed up.
Mm.
And I think that's how God
It
works.
is. There's alignment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And you still have this relationship with
So I
Netflix.
just did a brunch with Netflix a few
A few
days
days
ago.
ago, right?
So
Not
yeah,
that I missed.
still I
I'm
know.
gonna let you know every
Yeah,
time
I
there's
need
a
your
big
full
yes.
schedule. Anybody, whoever's got it,
And I
yeah.
need yours. I need the brunch scheduled so I
Yeah,
can
you
say, okay, I'm
have to
be in this
come.
city. I'm covered. Yes.
Yes.
No, but that's amazing, and that says a lot about you and the brand that you've built. That you're able to sustain relationships with a brand as big as Netflix. Um, with all the brunches that you've had, what has been one of your most memorable brunches?
Wow. You know what I always remember? I always remember the conversations.
Mm,
And so I think like people that come to mind is like Tabitha Brown.
love her.
It's just everybody. What happens at the brunch, and as part of it being this divine space, is people come and they show up so authentically.
Mm-hmm.
It's no pomp and circumstance. It's no like I'm here and you're there. I
Right.
tell people everybody is a VIP, but
Mm-hmm.
when I have these conversations, because I honor like cultural icons, and we've honored
Yeah.
Kelly Rowland and Tabitha Brown and
Megan Good was at
Bozeman
the
St.
one.
John and Megan
Yes.
Good and Miss Tina Knowles, and
Yes.
we've honored so many incredible people, and
Mhm.
people always show up with their heart.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm thinking about even the last brunch that I just did with Netflix,
Mm.
and sitting with Victoria Mahoney, who's the
Yes.
director of the Old Guard 2,
Yes.
and Kiki Lane, who stars in it as
Mhm.
a black woman superhero.
Yeah.
I mean, we just need to
First of
take
all,
a
can we
minute
give it up
to,
her? She's
yeah.
so beautiful. First of all, just stunning.
I'm telling you, and
And
just
then,
also
yeah,
beautiful inside and
she
out.
is.
And she came and she sat with us,
Ah,
and she poured her heart and she cried with us, and
mm,
it's just, there's no other spaces
yeah.
where I feel like people feel seen. And so when you
Yes.
ask about my favorite Black excellence brunch, I have favorite moments within them, but it's
Mhm.
hard to choose one. But I think that the thing that I love most is that you see people authentically
Mhm.
and they feel seen too.
Yes. No, for sure. I've been to two Black excellence brunches, and I felt seen both times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that means so much to me.
Yeah. No, seriously, it's such a. It feels like a family reunion almost.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's it. That's it.
Yes.
That's what I try to create, no matter how big it is. Because you've
Mhm.
been to like a smaller one, and
And
you've
I've been
been
to
to
the
like the
big.
biggest one,
That
right?
yes, and we're gonna get to that. That was
Yeah.
crazy. Yes. Now, if you had anyone on your wish list that you want to have attend your Black Excellence Brunch, who would it be?
Oh, let me just pull out my no. Denzel Washington,
Oh yes.
Viola Davis, gosh, there's so many like iconic people that I think, Lisa Leslie,
Yeah. Oh,
um,
we can make that happen. No,
don't play with
seriously.
me.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know
Lisa
a direct
Leslie,
connect.
Don Staley,
That one too.
gosh,
Yes. She's
there's
amazing.
so many incredible people who, Tyler Perry,
Oh,
like so many incredible people who I
I'm gonna
think,
help you out, bro.
listen, all
Yeah.
right now.
I can put a bug out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many incredible people that I feel like deserve their flowers, and I
Absolutely.
want to share this space with,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Come on. Come on. Speaking of Beyonce, her mom, Miss Tina Knowles, is a mentor of yours. How
Yes.
did that? I mean, how do you get Mama Tina to be your mentor?
Again, another form of manifestation. So
Mhm.
I was living in New York,
Mhm.
and Solange's album "A Seat at the Table" came out,
So
which
good.
is a timeless classic. And I'm going to
Yes.
say it right now. The
Yes.
time hasn't passed yet, but we're going to be listening to that album
Mm.
50 years from now, like we listened to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, right?
What did I say, Ashaunna, at dinner? That's like when if we were stranded on an island and we only had one album, what would it be? And that's the one I said.
Man, that album, like, I probably listened to it like over and over and over. I can't even
Yes.
count the amount of times. But there is a interlude on the album, and I love that she did interludes, because
Mhm.
like that was a lost art, and she
Yep.
brought it back in such an amazing way.
Yeah.
And Miss Tina was on one of the interludes, and it was during a time, it was a dark time for me, I would say,
Mhm.
where I was just feeling, I was in the corporate world before I became a full-time entrepreneur,
Yes.
and I was feeling so down, and just taken advantage of. I remember bringing so many creative ideas, and I remember them being shot down, and people being like,
Mm.
"Oh, they're not. Nah, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea." But then I would see them secretly try to do it. But they wanted me to think it wasn't good. But
Mhm.
they and then they wanted to give the credit to somebody else.
Mm.
And of course, it was somebody who didn't look like me.
Hello. Mhm.
So I was very down, and I was just like, "What is it? Like, why?" And I remember listening to the interlude where Miss Tina was just talking about the joy of being a Black person, the pride,
Yes.
and that and it reinvigorated me. And I every time I would leave work and I would feel away, I would turn to that interlude and I would listen to it. And I remember, and this is where the manifestation comes in. I remember sitting and I was like, I wish I could just talk to her.
Mm.
Like, I want to just talk to her. And I put it out there, and
Yeah.
I didn't think of nothing else about
Yeah.
it. And I I have to say that in that moment, I feel like God started put things in motion.
Mm.
So things got really bad at work.
Mhm.
And at first I was like, well, what's happening? Like,
Yeah.
but if you know anything about the way God works, if God is telling you to do something and you're not heeding to what God is,
Mhm.
things will get real
Baby, he gonna shake
uncomfortable.
it up. Yes, he will.
It'll get real uncomfortable.
It
And they got
will.
really uncomfortable. And so I remember I was working on this. I get chills thinking about, I was working on this event
Mhm.
to, the hope was to honor Beyonce.
Wow.
And she was pregnant at the time, and so she
Mhm.
couldn't be there for it. And I ended up moving to LA. I met someone, Andrea Nelson Meggs,
Mhm.
who is an incredible
Yeah.
agent, and she was sitting with me and she was like, "Hi, I'm working with Waco Theater Center," and she was like, "They think that they're looking for a social media person, but I think that they're looking for you specifically." And
Wow.
she set up a meeting with me and Mr. Lawson,
Yes. Mhm.
and Miss Tina just happened to be there at the time. She walked by and she looked and she came back and she was like, "Who is this?" And so she walked into the meeting and we were supposed to meet for like 30 minutes. We sat there and talked for like 3 hours.
Wow.
And the first thing that I
Mhm.
worked with her on was a gala honoring Beyonce.
The wearable art.
Yes. And so
Yes.
God had fulfilled the
Wow. So you were
thing.
behind that too?
Yet, like I got to help bring that to life. But
Wow.
Miss Tina is an incredible visionary,
Yeah,
so
she
smart,
is.
creative, like
Mhm.
deserves. I'm so glad that she's getting her flowers now with the
Yes.
matriarch. But
Mhm.
yeah. So when God made that promise to me after I like said those things,
Yeah.
to listen to that album, it just started to come
Mhm.
true. So that's how we met, and we just been so close ever since. And I think it's because Miss Tina is one of those people that she sees your heart
Yeah.
and she wants to help. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and she also taught me just a lot about, you can't wait on somebody else to do something
Mhm.
for you or to give you an opportunity. Like you have to
Yes.
make space and take up space.
Yes.
And I started doing that, and man.
Look at you. You're occupying all streets right now. You are killing it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So you talked about going from corporate to being an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
Um, same thing. And I think we have something in common. You worked for the Obama campaign and I got recruited, but I didn't take the job.
Ah,
Yeah, I worked on the Hill before I moved to Atlanta
wow.
to pursue acting and music. But you worked from NBC,
Hmm.
Viacom, and
Hmm.
then you worked on the Obama campaign. Tell me what that transition was like going in that jump where you said, all right, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to go work for myself and make my dreams come true.
So that was things got really uncomfortable. Like I was telling you
Mm-hmm.
earlier, and and I knew like. So I feel like at every place, so from the Obama campaign to NBC to Viacom,
Hmm.
like every place that I was a mentor taught me about this too. Like I was putting things in my toolbox.
Yep.
So you're
Mm-hmm.
always collecting things, and sometimes you have the tools that you need, but
Mm.
and it's time for you to move on to the next
Mm-hmm.
thing, but you're so comfortable
Yep.
or you're so you like the friends that you have or whatever
Hmm.
the reason is,
Yeah.
and you stay too long. And people do this again and at
Mhm.
jobs, they do it in relationships,
Relationships.
they do it in friendship, they do it sometimes with family members,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
real.
think that when God tells you to get up and move, you got
Hmm.
to get up and move. And
Yeah.
so when I actually would be in LA a lot, right? I would be in LA a lot for work.
Mhm.
And one day, Crystal, I lied to you not, I was walking down the street, palm tree line street, and I'd always been anti LA and so pro New York. And I
Mhm.
was living in New York, so I was like, I'm here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But when I was walking down the street, I heard God say so clearly, home. I just kept hearing it. And I walked by this building that was named as soon as I heard that, I walked by this building and the name of the building was the name of my hometown.
Oh,
Like, and they were
wow.
building it, and I was like, "Oh, this is such a nice building,"
Mhm.
and I ended up moving and staying in that building.
Wow.
And so I feel like too when you're on this journey, like God will speak to us and it'll be
Mhm.
faint.
Yeah.
And the more you lean in and listen to it, the louder and the clearer it becomes. And
Mhm.
I think at that point in my life, I had gotten to a point where the voice was clear. And so when God was telling me to do something, all right, I'm like, okay, let's
Yeah,
go.
let's
We
go.
doing it. And so
Right.
I got back to New York. I started looking up apartments. I started like calling people, and the
Mhm.
next time I went to LA, I just didn't take that flight back.
Oof. Oh my goodness. So you talked about building your toolbox. What are some
Hmm.
of the tools that you took from working in corporate America to being an entrepreneur and what impact did it have on you?
Yeah, of course. So, you know, one of the things that I took was like, and this word gets thrown around a lot, like
Mhm.
humility and being
Mm.
humble.
Yeah.
I learned that like I don't want to be humble. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh-huh.
and in corporate America, you can't be like humble so you have to like ask for what you want. You have to
Yes.
say the thing. Now, the part of humility that I like is that you can be kind
Yes.
and considerate and show grace.
Mhm.
But if people don't know like what you're capable of and what you
Mhm.
can do and like
Mhm.
what tools that you
The church
have,
is saying
then you'll
amen
get
in the
looked
back.
over and over. Yeah, it's the truth.
Yes.
And so like I have this like love-hate relationship with the word humble. And
Yeah.
in corporate America, I learned like put humble,
Mhm.
underneath some stuff, you know?
That's real,
And
yeah.
I can be kind, I can be considerate, I can be
Mhm.
all the things. And speaking of
Yeah.
kind, like I also learned that you can be kind, but you don't always have to be nice.
Yes. Ooh.
Because nice will have you being taken advantage of. It'll have people lowballing you. It'll have people treating you like you're less than.
Mhm.
So I am kind,
Mhm.
but I'm not always nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
So I think that's another thing. Uh I learned how to pitch my brand.
Mhm.
So when you are I did so many decks, and
Yeah.
if you're not familiar with what a deck is when you kind of take eh, the thing. Say you're doing an event, you kind of
Mhm.
take the event and you put it in like a digestible like packet
Yeah.
for people to be able to see like what it is that you do,
Mhm.
how they can get involved, why they
Yeah.
should get involved. And so I learned how to do that really well, and that's
Mhm.
what helped me transition from that one that I paid for
To
to the
the
one that got paid for. Right?
Mhm.
I I knew from working in corporate America, okay, I need to take photos, I need
Yes.
to have like notes, I need to invite certain people, and I need
Mhm.
to package this all up and then have it
Mhm.
prepared because you have to prepare for what you're praying for.
Mm.
So you can pray for something all the time, but are you
Yes.
preparing for it? So when that thing walks up,
Yes.
it's like, all right, you don't want to miss that opportunity because you're not
Right.
prepared. So while I'm praying, I'm preparing.
Mhm.
And that was another thing that I learned in corporate America. And I also learned because, and people do this all the time. They'll send one email and then they don't get a response from that email, and they're like, oh, they don't want to do it. But you are the one that needs something. So
Yeah.
you can't send a one email and just forget it. You have to be persistent. You have to follow up. You have to
Mhm.
find the best contact. You have to do all of
Yes.
your research, and sometimes you have to call after
Mhm.
you send the email. Sometimes you have to get
Yeah.
a number and text. So I learned persistence.
Mhm.
Um and I think, but most of all, like I learned to advocate for myself, which
Yeah.
I used to be so scared to do.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Like I was the person who um would this story comes to mind. I'm gonna go ahead and tell it. So I'm in a fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity incorporated. Shout out to all the noobs out there.
Okay.
Um, I'm in a fraternity, and I was president of NPHC, which is all the divine honor, all degree,
Yes.
and I was simultaneously the vice president of my chapter.
Mhm.
And I remember I would sit in meetings, and I've always been a creative, so I would have
Mhm.
all these ideas. And one of my profiles, one of the ones that are older than me, they would watch me in these
Yeah.
meetings. And they were like, you always, one day, like he got in my face. He was like, you always, I know you got something to say. You never want to say what you have to say. Like I can see it on your face. You need to speak up for yourself. And
Mm.
I was like, oh, and that was basically he was telling me like what you think
Yeah.
matters, and it
Wow.
matters in this room. And
Mhm.
so I had to get out of that. Like it doesn't matter if I'm the youngest or if I'm the only person of color or if I'm the
Mhm.
only guy or whatever it is in a room.
Mhm.
Like my voice matters, and if it didn't matter, I wouldn't be in that
So
place.
true. Absolutely. That's so good. So you went from working on the Obama campaign and you went from a rooftop of a New York restaurant to the White House.
Man,
I was at this one,
yeah.
Trell. It was it was monumental. It was historic. It was, I think, for every person that had the honor of attending this event, it was something that made us believe and dream bigger.
Mm,
We sat on the line and looked at a building that our ancestors built, died for. Um, we sat on the line of a house that a lot of us haven't even been able to go to or even invited or welcomed. So to be welcomed in that way and for it to be a young Black man that made that happen for us was I got
I'm like trying. I'm fighting
bro.
back the tears right now.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. What was that moment like for you? You had your family there. Everywhere I turned, and then people were texting like, "Wait, I saw you. Where'd you go?" Like we were all trying to catch up with each other. It literally felt like a big family reunion. The food was amazing. What was that moment like for you? Because I know what it felt like for us.
Uh, you know, Honestly, I was talking to somebody about this just
Mm.
yesterday. It was an out of body experience. I felt like I was like hovering above myself, watching myself the entire. It wasn't until I stepped off the stage, and I don't know if you saw me, and I like broke. I had like a breakdown, and from that was when I came back into my body. I felt like,
Mm.
but the whole time I just felt like I was watching myself, and I think because I felt the weight of that responsibility.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it right. And I wanted
Mhm.
to for us to feel seen
Oh, we
and
felt it.
feel like that love. And so, I'm just so grateful that it
Mhm.
happened.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that, people like you just shared
Mhm.
have that experience.
Mhm.
And you're speaking about the things that I wanted. I wanted to give us opportunity to make space for us to take up space. And
Mhm.
like also, not for nothing, to your point, that place wouldn't be there if it weren't for us. Our literal blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
And so it is only right that we get to be celebrated in
Mhm.
that kind of way in
Yeah.
that space, you
Mhm.
know? And so
Absolutely.
that was my thought process. And it was just, and I think a lesson or a thing that I learned in all of that is like somebody's always watching you.
Yeah.
Somebody's always watching you. And that thing, people don't know that, but that was like 3 years in the making. And it came to me in a dream. Like I was walking past through like where the rose garden is. I
Mhm.
was walking through there and I had like deja vu because I dreamed walking the exact same steps. I
Oh.
saw myself, I looked at the reflection of myself, all those things, and it
Mm.
was happening again. And so
Mhm.
that's how I know it was divine. But for
Yeah.
me, it was like I wanted to create a space for us to feel seen on a massive scale.
Yes.
And it taught me the lesson of like always be preparing
Yes.
for it because somebody someplace is watching
Mhm.
what you're doing, and that's what happened. Somebody at
Yeah.
the White House was watching at the same time I was dreaming.
What I was gonna ask. Ooh, I was gonna ask you that. That's powerful. Somebody was watching at the White House while I was
Dreaming
dreaming.
it. Yep.
My goodness. So good. So good. So how did that happen? The person that was watching reached out.
So yeah, I'm persistent. Anybody that knows me will tell you Trell is the follow-up king. I'm gonna follow up and then follow up and then follow up on top of the follow-up.
Right.
Um
I love it.
I'm for real. And I will be following up for your schedule.
Oh, please do. Thank and I'll be following up too. I need that brunch schedule.
No, but okay, so I've been really blessed to have a lot of incredible people in my life. A lot of black women too.
Yeah.
Shout out to black women.
Oof.
You all are like the backbone of society. Nothing moves without black culture, but nothing really moves without black women.
Come on.
So it was a black woman,
Mhm.
Joteka Edie,
Mhm.
who
Yes.
came to me. She's from South Carolina.
Mhm.
Who came to me and was like, "You got something special, brother." That's if you know. That's how she talk. You got something special, brother.
Yes.
Like you got something special.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Thank you, Joteka." And that's all she said at
Uh-huh.
first. And she was behind the scenes talking to people. And then my fraternity brother, Steve Benjamin,
Mhm.
was advisor to the president. He also was like, whispering in ears. And for me, I was just calling anybody that would listen. Like, hey, I was under people's social media. I was DMing.
Yes.
Some of them DMs still unread, but it happened. Thank
It
you, God.
happened. Yes.
But yeah, any email I was sending the emails, and so, but I always made sure again, like kind. I was always kind to people, and my mom
Yeah.
taught me that at a very early age.
Mhm.
I remember when she would drop me off to school, she would say, "Trail, you treat the janitor the same way you treat the principal."
Absolutely.
And
Same.
that's stuck with me my entire
Mhm.
life. I've
Yeah.
always treated, almost especially,
Mhm.
people who I felt like didn't also always get treated right.
Yes.
I've always made a point to be kind to those people.
Mhm.
And some of my biggest breaks have come from like somebody who a lot of people might have overlooked that I
Mhm.
was kind to, that remembered my kindness and told somebody else about me.
Yes.
A big deal for me, I did PR, like in my many lives, I would say I also did PR.
Uh-huh.
And I remember my biggest thing, I got a placement in O Magazine, which was
Huge.
huge.
Yeah.
And that placement came from me offering an assistant water. The assistant, oftentimes nobody ever talks to, and I had
Mhm.
they when you go visit offices and stuff, they'll make sure that you have the things that you need. And
Mhm.
I got another water and I offered the assistant one.
Wow.
And and the assistant told their boss, who told the editor who got me the placement.
Wow.
And I have so many stories in my life like that, where
Mhm.
just being kind to somebody who needs a little
Yes.
more kindness
Yeah.
can open a big door for you.
So true. Oof. That's good. That is so good. Wow. I'm still stuck on somebody was watching while I was dreaming.
Man, I'm telling you,
I am still
it
stuck.
probably was literally while I was having that
Yeah.
dream, somebody was like scrolling, like, who is this brother?
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy. Um, what do you feel has made your brand stand out? Because I feel like the brunch, let's call it brunch industry, is like very saturated.
Yeah.
But what has made yours stand out over all the other ones?
I think when God has given you a vision,
Hmm.
God will give you provision.
Come on. Okay, we're gonna add pastor to your title because you preaching right
Well,
now.
you know, I was in the church for my mom was my Sunday school teacher. She was my vacation Bible school teacher. She was my choir director. I was in the church a lot.
Yes.
So don't let this set fool you. Like I know my word,
I
but
love
no,
that.
it's real. Like when
Mhm.
God gives you a vision, God will give you provision.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter if it's a million people doing things. I mean, look at Fenty.
Yes.
Like Rihanna has $1 billion industry
Mhm.
that everybody would say oversaturated. You can't turn anywhere without seeing some makeup,
Mhm.
but it ain't Fenty.
Hello. And then has deals after deals with other beauty brands. Like she
Exactly.
just does everything. Yeah.
And I feel like we live, we were talking about this. I don't operate in a scarcity mindset.
Mhm. You
We live
can't.
in an infinite, there's enough of everything for
Mhm.
everybody
Yeah.
three and four times over.
Mhm.
So I've always been lived by that. Like there's
Mhm.
enough for me. And
Yeah.
so, but I think there are a couple of things that differentiate the brunch from other
Mhm.
brunches, right?
Yeah.
Um, One is like the heart of it.
Mhm.
And I think that you should hone it, like know your why and the
Yeah.
intention behind your why before you start anything, and be
Mhm.
really firm on that. And
Yeah.
I have been like I've said no to 6-figure deals because
What?
it wasn't it wasn't the heart.
That's so good.
You know?
Integrity.
Yeah, you got to
Yes.
keep your integrity. You got to keep the integrity of your brand. Like, how many fast food restaurants did you used to love, and then when it got too big, they messed with the integrity, and now it's not good.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
think it's the same thing with your brand. You got to treat your brand like that. You got to
That's so
be
true.
integral about it. And so for
Mhm.
me, like I know that my no's make way for my yeses. So I'm not afraid to say no to
Mhm.
anything, and that
Yeah.
has really helped the brand,
That's
like
good.
being having those clear boundaries. um
Mhm.
I feel like another thing about a brand is like having something that's recognizable. So the
Mm.
all white really helps
Yes.
too. And for me, it wasn't about like making a brand. It was more so about I put us in all white because I wanted the concentration to be on the beauty of our melanin. So I didn't want anything distracting us from
Mm.
that. I wanted people to see like the beauty of your skin because it
Yes.
is about celebrating blackness. And
Yes.
blackness isn't because of black excellence isn't because of all the accolades that you receive. You
Mm-mm.
were born. That is a birthright that we have.
Yeah. Mm.
And I teach my sister to teach her sons, like, we didn't
Yeah.
come, like, people are like, oh, yeah, they brought slaves over to America. No, they brought doctors and lawyers and engineers and all of
Mhm.
these things. Like, and kings and queens, we were born into royalty. That's our ancestry,
Yeah.
you know? So I wanted the concentration to be on the beauty of like all of the different shades of us.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that's helped the brand. But I also think consistency. And
Yeah.
consistency is probably, paramount with anything, any brand building.
Mhm.
You have to be consistent. You have to continue to show up. And that's the
Yeah.
thing that a lot of people struggle with, I feel
No,
like,
for
being consistent.
sure. Yeah, it is. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind when it's all said and done, especially with this brunch because it's building a legacy of its own.
Oh, thank you. That's such a like you know, I want the legacy of Black Excellence Brunch and of myself just to be that like people felt safe
Mhm.
and seen and affirmed
Yeah.
around me and in the Black Excellence
Mhm.
Brunch, because I believe that when people feel seen and
Mhm.
affirmed, they're able to show up more authentically. And when
Mhm.
you're able to show up more authentically, you can walk your path, because
Yeah.
our path is as unique to us as our thumbprint.
Mhm.
and you can only get what's for you by being you. Like
Yeah.
I can only get what's for Trail by being Trail. I
Mhm.
can't get what's for Trail trying to be Crystal.
Yeah.
And so when you show up authentically, you can collect all the things that are for you.
Mhm.
And so and when you feel safe, you're able to do that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so I want people to feel a little safer and a little
Mhm.
more affirmed and a little more seen
Mm.
when they're around me or when they're in spaces that I've created.
Yeah. So something that I'm really interested to know about is the day of a big event, the
Yeah.
day of your brunch, because I've thrown parties and I know how stressful it is, the things that happen. What is one of the craziest things that's happened where you were like, oh my God, is this going to happen? Like, are we going to even be able to have the brunch today? Because I know those moments, you probably need a reality show just around the brunch.
Legit, legit. There's so many, but there's one that I can think about, and I can talk about it now. But for a long time, I couldn't talk about it. So, so we were in Austin, Texas. My first time in Austin, Texas at
Mhm.
Afro Tech. I was so excited to be there. We were doing this brunch at this place, and they told us like, "Hey, we have like a semi kitchen.
Mhm.
So basically, when that happens, like the chef prepares the food, and then you come
Right.
bring it in and you warm it.
Mhm.
Cool. That
Yeah.
happens. That's okay.
Mhm.
We get there. It is a parking garage. The outlets don't work in there. You can't have a brunch without food. And the chef thought like, oh, I'm gonna make the eggs in there because we didn't have any food, we didn't have any way to warm it up. We were buying hot plates to plug them up. I had to run an extension cord up some steps to plug in the hot plates. The other chef was at at this Airbnb cooking the food, driving back and forth to
Oh
bring.
my
I mean,
goodness.
it was insane. All above, the music is
You're right,
playing. The
vibing.
people are like, "Oh yeah," and I'm down there running back and forth, hosting. Hey, welcome to the Black Excellence Brunch. We're so glad for you to be here. Running downstairs, putting on gloves, and
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
wild, wild.
That's
And so that was
crazy.
a moment where I was just like, I don't know, and
Mm.
and honestly the White House was a very big undertaking because you can't do anything. There's a lot of checks and balances,
It,
as you can
oh my
imagine.
gosh. They were
And
like even like the Secret Service and like
yeah,
the
it was a
checkpoints.
lot.
It was so much. I was like, ooh, I remember I just remember working on the hill. It felt like that all over again.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was, navigating that space, and
Mm.
I didn't like I didn't want, and it's the same with the brunches. Like I wanted, yeah, people that you recognize and know and love, like
Yeah.
yourself there.
Mm.
I also wanted people that may have never gotten the opportunity to come, so I
Yes.
invited some people from South Carolina who,
Yes.
you know, probably never even been in a state building, let
Oh my
alone the
gosh.
White House. And
Right.
so navigating that space and
Mhm.
and like making
Your family
sure
was
that,
there.
yeah, my family was there.
That was that warmed my
My
heart.
dad does not talk, and he would not shut up. Like he was inside the White House like taking pictures of everything. I think my dad took a picture of the floor. I'm like, what you gonna do with that? But
I was
yeah,
here.
but I wanted people to have that experience, and so navigating that
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh. And not only that, I was building the program. I was,
Mm.
figuring out like the food and all those things. So doing
Yeah.
it at that scale for 3,000 people, and also trying to make sure like even, you know, including like even the smallest people from the smallest town.
Yeah.
I mean, not no, there's no small people,
I know
but
what you mean. Yeah.
people from small
Who wouldn't
towns
get those
who wouldn't get
opportunities?
those opportunities,
Yeah.
and making sure those people were included as well. It was just
Mm.
that was a huge undertaking.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But Austin takes the cake. That was oh
That's crazy. Yeah, and but you handled it, you kept pushing. And that's what
ye-
matters.
yeah, and a lady that one was with DoorDash,
Hmm.
and the same lady went to another
Wow.
company, and we're doing a Black Excellence brunch together in a few weeks. So that's
Oh
why I can
my.
talk about it, because I'm
Yes.
like, okay, they didn't nobody knew.
Right.
Yeah,
That's good. You pivoted. That's
pivot.
good. I
Yeah,
love that. Um, I want to know more about Trail.
yeah.
So you have these amazing brunches. You've had an incredible impact on our community and culture. What does Trail do to stay grounded after all these monumental moments?
You're gonna laugh at this, and maybe you won't, but I take baths. And it's not like you like, oh yeah, you take a bath, everybody takes a bath. But no, I make it a thing. Like
Hmm.
I get the candles, burn incense, I dim the lights, I have the music on,
Yes.
I have bath bombs. Like I really make it a moment. And that has become like my recentering
Wow.
moment.
I love
And
that.
I'll just sit in there and I'll think.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Kinda like your Rev Run
Rev
moment.
Run. Yeah, I was
That's what I
literally like
pictured.
I was finding the name. Yeah, it's my Rev Run moment, and I just sit in there and it resets me
Mhm.
and it just calms me and
Yeah.
in that time I'm just thinking about that because I've
Mhm.
tried like every way to meditate
Mhm.
and I'm like my mind is just so it's always going but in there I just feel like it's so calming,
That's
so
good.
I do that and I like to travel so I take trips. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
What's one of your favorite places to
My
go?
favorite places, I have to say, I don't know if you've ever been to Ghana.
I have not. No, I've only been to South
Go to
Africa.
Ghana. Like
Yeah.
when you're talking about it just felt like a big hug from your grandma
Mm.
being
Mm.
there. From the moment I stepped off the plane, I just felt like embraced in a
Mm.
way that I have never felt.
Wow.
So like that, Ghana has to have been one of my favorite
Yeah.
trips. I also really love like London is my spirit city.
Mm.
And I think London holds such a special place in my heart because if you haven't realized at this point, I'm a risk taker. And I booked the trip to London like on my 27th birthday, the
Mhm.
night before the trip.
Oh, wow.
By myself, went and
I love
I
it.
had the time of my life. And it was my first thing, my first like solo trip. It was like a, what's that thing? Love, eat, pray, or eat, pray,
Yes.
love, or what?
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
was that for me.
Wow.
And so ever since then I've just had such an affinity for London.
Really? I
Um
went to London in December, and I guess it was no one told me that wasn't a great time to go because it
no,
was
it's
dark by three
cold
o'clock
and like
and it's
yeah, and it
rainy.
rains. Yeah, yeah,
Ugh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. But it's so it's a vibrant city. The fashion is top tier. The
Mhm.
like I just feel so cool like
Mm.
Sherlock Holmes. I mean, I'm James Bond like walking down the
Yeah.
street. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love
Yeah.
London.
I love that. You are known for creating safe spaces for other people. How do you curate your own safe space?
Listen, boundaries. People talk a lot about boundaries. I have really set like firm boundaries
Yeah.
around myself, and it comes with like learning. You have to learn yourself to know like
Yeah.
what you will. Because I used to be. I'm a Virgo too, so
Mhm.
if you know anything about Virgos, it's a very people pleasing sign. So we want people to be
Mm.
happy. So Mother Teresa is a Virgo,
Wow.
like Michael Jackson,
Tyler
Beyonce.
and Beyonce,
Kobe
yeah.
Bryant, Tyler
Yeah.
Perry,
Yeah.
yeah. So like
Wow.
we're very much people who want people to feel safe and seen and loved
Mhm.
and sometimes that comes at the risk of like not seeing and affirming and loving yourself.
Mhm.
And so I creating that safe space has looked like me creating boundaries,
Yeah.
me saying no when I mean no, saying no and letting that be it.
Mm.
Not no because, not no but, not
Yeah.
no maybe,
Right.
just no.
No. Yes.
You know, um, that has attributed to me creating a safe space. Also, um, just doing things with love.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, like I
Yes.
don't do anything. Like I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have a love for you and what you're doing
Oh,
and what you create. And
thank
so, like
you.
I do things from a space of love. And when you
Mhm.
do things from that space, it always turns out beautiful
Absolutely. Yeah.
every single time. If you operate from love, don't
Mhm.
operate from greed, don't operate from transactional, don't
Mhm.
operate from, trying to get a leg up,
Mhm.
jealousy,
Mm.
anger. Don't operate from those spaces. Operate from love, and I promise you, the
Mhm.
outcome every time will be so beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
If you could name a lesson or an affirmation that lives rent free in your head, what would it be?
Leave it better than you found it.
Mm. I love that.
Leave it better than you found it. I enter every space with the intention to leave it better than I found it,
Mhm.
and I've showed up before. Anytime I go to a table, like I'm always bringing something to the table.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
like what can I bring? Because
Mhm.
I don't want to be the person who just comes and takes something from somebody.
Yeah.
There's enough takers out there.
It is.
Like, be a giver. And what you don't know, a lot of people don't realize, when you give, you also get a lot.
Yes.
And so for me, I'm like, I'm gonna leave it better than I found it
Mhm.
because I'm gonna come with something.
I love that. That is so good. Now, music is a big part of everything that you built because when you come to your events,
The
the
90s
tunes
hip
are
hop and
yes,
R&B,
they
that's
are
my 90s
right.
vibe. Yeah.
Yes, if you had a peace playlist, where you're centered in a list that brings you peace, what would be one song that has to be on that
Oh my
playlist?
God. The Conquering Lion by Lauryn Hill.
Mm.
It's on her MTV Unplugged album. That song is short, but it is so
Yeah.
powerful.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Man,
good
I
one.
play that song like anytime I need like rejuvenation, anytime I need the reminder of who I am, anytime I need like that to feel spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
The Conquering Lion by Lauryn Hill. If you have not heard that song, where my camera right here?
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't heard The Conquering Lion by Lauryn Hill, please do yourself a favor and listen to that album. When you talk about
Yes.
love being
Mm-hmm.
poured into something, she poured so much love
She did.
into that unplugged, and it was
Mm-hmm.
so authentic. She let her voice crack.
Yes.
She cried. She started songs over. Like that whole album was amazing, and it just taught me so much about like another Virgo trait, the chase of perfection.
Perfection. Ooh.
Like you don't,
Yep.
it doesn't have to be perfect, but it
Mm-mm.
has to be real.
Yes, that's a Libra trait too,
And
because I struggle with that.
man, but it doesn't have
Yeah.
because in our imperfection we are made perfect, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody will catch that, right?
I caught it.
I'm
So good.
serious. And
Ooh,
so, like, yeah, you are
wow.
perfection. This
I'm
is
just in awe
perfect.
right now. Trail, God, this is like literally God. Everything is aligned, and this was God's timing
I'm
because
telling you.
everything you said today, I needed to hear it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm just grateful. Thank you so
I'm
much.
grateful.
So before we get out of here, I
Okay.
love to play a little game.
Okay, let's do it.
We're gonna do a game of this or that,
All right.
brunch edition. All
Okay.
right, all
Okay.
right. Mimosa or Bellini?
Bellini.
Shrimp and grits or fish and grits?
Fish and grits.
All right, now we from the South now. This next one's gonna be a little tricky. Grits with sugar or grits with salt?
Salt. Don't you put no sugar in my grits.
Okay,
Don't put no sugar in my grits. I don't want
confession.
oatmeal. I want grits.
Confession. When I was a kid, I wanted sugar and butter, but
Mm,
now that I'm an adult, I like salt
yeah,
and
savory
cheese.
grits
Yeah,
only.
savory for sure. That is hilarious. Fried eggs or scrambled eggs?
Scrambled.
Bacon or sausage?
I don't eat meat anymore, but
Okay.
I was a bacon guy. Bacon
Mm.
and pepperoni was the hardest thing for me to give up.
Listen, I don't eat pork, but I still eat pepperoni.
See, because that turkey pepperoni don't hit the
And
same.
some people feel like bacon when they say I don't eat pork but I eat bacon, they don't feel like it counts.
That was me. That was me for a long time. And
I'm
somebody was like, "Trail, no, come on
let it
now."
go.
Yeah,
That is funny. Waffles or pancakes?
that's tough.
It's so tough.
Pancakes. Chicken and waffles is like a staple
Mm-hmm.
brunch thing. Pancakes. I like
Okay.
fluffy.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sweet or savory?
savory.
You want a vibes playlist or a live band?
Can a live band play the
Vibes.
vibes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, give me
That's so
that.
good. I like that. Trell, thank you so much.
Thank
You have
you.
literally been a blessing. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
I love
This
you. I
is
do.
I love you too, and I wish you many more successful Black Excellence brunches and whatever they may turn to something else even bigger.
I
I
receive
pray
that.
that it just goes bigger and bigger and bigger. Seriously, and I can't wait to watch it and watch you do amazing things. I'm so proud of you.
I receive that. Can we pray? Can I pray for you?
Absolute. Oh
Let's
my God.
pray. God, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for this safe and beautiful and affirming space that Crystal has provided. Thank you for the doors that are opening. Thank you for the things that are happening. Lord, we just ask you to bless everything that her hand touches, every place that her feet goes. And Father, we ask that you open all the doors that need to be open and close all the doors that need to be closed. And because we also know that Crystal is an amazing steward over everything that you have given her. Bless her staff, bless everybody that is around this show, and bless everything that she puts her hands to. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Love you.
For today's Crystal